to become a musician and maybe a producer as well in 2025. You're looking for some advice. Hopefully I've got some kind of bits and pieces that are helpful for you. So I'm a musician and producer. I've been at this for about a year now, and in that year I've done about 1.4 million plays across my platforms. I'm slowly building an online brand. I've had some collaborations with people all around the world, so I've got my foot in the door, and I just wanted to get on and make this video for anyone out there who is in a similar position to me, or even just starting, looking for a bit of advice, a bit of guidance. I would say for me, obviously you need to be able to work hard. If you're proactive, disciplined, motivated, you don't really need money or professional education to get started. And myself, I've had no professional education. I haven't put much money in at all. However, what I did have was the will. I loved making music. I loved listening to music. I've always been a musician growing up, and I wanted to make that, my life purpose, my job, because let's be real, working a job sucks ass. I don't want to be doing it for the rest of my life, and I want to actually do something that I enjoy doing. Now, I'm under no illusion that in life you need to work hard. I want to have a career that I'm working hard at every day. I'm working for myself, do you know what I mean? I'm being creative. I'm doing something I want to do, so I thought I'm going to work my ass off and try to make this musician/producer thing, give it a real go. And if you're motivated, if you're hungry, if you really want it, the information's out there. YouTube, the internet, all the information that you need to become a good producer is out there. And when it comes to equipment, you don't need like a professional studio to make quality music. You don't need to be the best guitarist in the world to make something that sounds good. And in the kind of digital landscape that we're in, you're able to really craft sound in a way which is really creative nowadays, and the ceiling isn't as high as it was before. You don't need a record label. You just need to have the motivation and the kind of humility to sit down and practice being a musician and being a producer. And over time you get better, you start to build a following. The biggest thing about it for me is hard work and consistency. Every time I sit down to do anything music related, whether that's content creation, graphic design, making my artworks and that for my music, making the music, I'll write down in a chart how long I've spent. Each month I collate the times, each year I collate the times, just so that I can keep a record. Now, doing that over days, over weeks, over months, I went from nothing. I didn't have any Spotify streams for the first 7 months that I made music, and my music was on Spotify from day one. You need to link your motivation to the process, not the outcome. So to me, the motivation wasn't how many streams I was getting on Spotify, because I was getting none. If I had let the outcome be my motivation, I would have been deterred immediately. But I knew that with every song I was releasing, I was getting better. Every time I sat down at my studio, which was just a laptop, do you know what I mean, in the beginning, I was getting better. And that was my motivation to continue. So like I said, I didn't get any streams for the first 7 months. Now I've got 50,000 streams on my Spotify alone, and I would never have had that if I hadn't been consistent and put the work in over time. So if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to learn, and if you've got a drive there, then do it. And this applies to anything in life, not just music production. I've done this in so many different areas of my life. The gym, university, my character, all these areas. I worked hard every day and I didn't stop for years, until I'm looking back and I'm thinking, my God, how have I done this? It's about consistency, it's about drive, it's about discipline. With time and with effort, you really can achieve things you never thought was possible.
Reminds me of a story.
Moving on to step 2, things really sped up for me when I started to look at content in a serious way. Before the digital age, if you wanted to get big in music, it was a record label, or it was going around doing shows, building your name that way. There were recognised channels that you went down, but nowadays, all you need to do is get something that's viral and you're golden. And in this digital age, content creation is such a big thing. Social media has changed the game. If you know how to play the algorithm right, then you are essentially your own marketing agency and you don't need to pay anybody for that. So for me, when I started to dial in content, that's when my views went up. That's when I started getting Spotify, because I was getting views on YouTube and people were following through YouTube to Spotify. For me, I make deep house music, electronic music, kind of like down tempo, stuff that you can chill to, kind of jazz, funk, deep house. So I noticed on YouTube there was a niche going, deep house mixes, million, 100k. The views for the mixes were great, but one thing I noticed was everybody's mix was someone else's music, and when I went and had a wee look at the description, it was always, copyright, this track's been removed for copyright issues, etc, etc. So the way I saw it was, there's a niche in the market there. If I can make deep house music myself and then make the mixes using my own music, then I get all those views, but I get all the revenue, all the promotion goes to me. It's all self-contained. So I realised that there was a niche there, and that's where I hit. And that's where I've been doing, I've done 1.4 million across, YouTube Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. But 1.3 million have came from YouTube alone. That deep house mix niche is where I'm doing great. It's where I've made a good bit of money, So you've got to use content to promote your music, because music in and of itself isn't going to necessarily be promoted by the algorithm. You've got to kickstart the algorithm by having people watch it or listen in the first place. And the way you do that is by using content. So for me, it was finding that niche, finding that content, putting it up there, and the algorithm pushed it out for me. Now the content itself is making me money, and it's getting people to pull through. I'm funneling people through to Spotify and Apple Music, and that's making me money as well. But the content is really important, because that's how you get the algorithm on your side. That's how you really promote your music. Two big things. Work hard, work on yourself, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. So that's step 1, work hard. Step 2, content. Find a niche, find somewhere that your music is played, or find a way that you can use content and subtly put your music in there. Content and hard work, that's how I made it for myself. That's how I'll continue to make it. And I really appreciate you watching. Subscribe, like the video if you like it, comment down below, tell me I'm a dafty if you think I am. If you want to listen to my tunes, please do, link in the description, deep house, electronic, all that kind of jazz, literally. And thanks for watching, peace out.